Hi, this is the fifth part of Operations Notes for GCSE Business OCR, and I'm going to talk about business location and procurement. First of all, to decide where to put my business is very, very important because obviously it can cost a lot of money in the long run if I've got the wrong business and the wrong location and customers aren't coming to me. And the business might even fail if I've put the business in the wrong place. If I've selected a very high value property that I've got to pay high rents on, it could also impact the business's costs so much so that we're not making a profit and we have to move or even fail. So business location decisions are very important. And the things you have to consider when choosing where to put the business will depend on the nature of the business. It will be very different for a corner shop compared to a large warehouse storing clothes for a large supermarket. Obviously, they'll have very different requirements. So some factors will be more important than others depending on the business. Now, obviously, cost of the premises is very important. But some businesses don't mind paying a high price because they need to reflect their brand image. So they will pay a high rent, but they know that they're selling, say for example, Louis Vuitton bags. They'll pay for a high rent to be in a really posh area of London because they need to be there. It reflects what they're selling, high value bags. And also that meets customer expectations of quality and thinking back to the marketing mix. It's the place, it's the product price promotion place. My product's expensive, my price is expensive. So I've got to sell in a place that reflects that. Selling in city centres is very expensive because the rents and rates are very high. As well, not every business needs lots of space. If all I need is a computer to run my business and everything's done online, and maybe I'm doing recruitment, so all I need to do is be able to get people to sign up online, and then I send them out to interviews, I need a computer. I don't actually need a lot of physical space. But some businesses, say storage for, I don't know, say George at Asda needs to store the clothes somewhere to send them out to the different supermarkets. So they might need large distribution hubs. Do I need lots of staff? If I need lots of staff, then I need to be somewhere where lots of people live. There's no point saying we're going to set up this business, we need a workforce of 200 and then putting it in the middle of nowhere where nobody's going to travel to. And then coming back to thinking about that, linked to that is transport. Do we need lorries going in and out of the business? Do we need motorways nearby to get the goods? Do we need a port? Do we need an airport? What do you need nearby? Does the business need good broadband? I mean, most businesses nowadays need good internet access, don't they? But don't go and put your business down the end of a country lane in the middle of nowhere then. And then, is the government going to provide any kind of help if I move to this area? If the area has high unemployment or is rural and there's not many businesses there, it might be that the government will give you some support. And then, do I need to be near my customers? If you're setting up a corner shop, but you're putting it again in a village in the middle of nowhere and there's nobody around during the day, then you possibly aren't going to get many customers walking past and therefore not be very successful. Do you want to be near your suppliers? If you're selling something that requires high levels of, I don't know, eggs, do you need to be near producers of eggs rather than having to ship them halfway across the country? And some businesses want to be near their competition, but others want to be as far away as possible. Sometimes an area becomes known for selling a certain product or services, so we go near to the competition, but other businesses say, that would ruin my business if somebody else was doing it. Now I'm going to move on to procurement, and procurement means to procure things, to get things, and it means managing the buying and purchasing in a business. And procurement means buying things in from stock to sell to services like cleaning services, like whoever's going to empty the bins, like people to supply food for the vending machines in the offices. Procurement means getting all those things in that the business requires to run. And supply chain means buying things in from suppliers. And the supply chain could be very short, like we said, a local chip shop that needs chips, so they need to buy in potatoes from a local supplier, to the big companies that we've looked at, like Marks and Spencer's, that buy in from 700 suppliers, I think it was, from who are buying from 30,000 farms. So they've got a very complicated supply chain. And obviously, it's going to be more complicated to manage that long supply chain than it is to manage a short supply chain. So procurement and supply chain management are a very similar function. What they have to do, especially procurement, is think about what the business is going to sell. So if they know that people want to buy certain technology nowadays, or they want to buy certain fashions, then the procurement needs to say, actually, we need to be stocking this, and they need to sort out suppliers to work with, and think about how the goods are going to be ordered and where they're going to be received. When they're choosing suppliers, this depends on how reliable the suppliers are going to be, how good their customer service is going to be. If you've got a problem with the products that they're supplying, is the supplier going to say, oh, well, or are they actually going to put things right? How good is the product quality that the supplier is giving to you? Because remember, if they supply something and then you sell it on to your customer and the quality is not very good, then obviously it's your reputation, isn't it, at stake? And it might be that you need the parts or supplies quickly, so you go to a supplier who can supply them very rapidly. Or it might be that you say, actually, we don't need them that fast, so let's go a bit further afield. We can get a cheaper price if we go abroad and we get them brought in over a longer time frame. So again, it depends on the nature of the business as to what decisions they'll make about suppliers. Procurement also needs to order things like cleaning supplies. I said that, didn't I, already? And they can keep costs down by keeping the price of such things down, which obviously then affects the overall profit of the business. However, you have to always be careful, don't you? Because you might get cheap cleaners, but are they going to clean the place properly? So that's something that procurement have to keep an eye on. And then they have to make sure that somebody's available to receive deliveries from suppliers. It's no good the goods suddenly turning up on the back of a lorry and there's nobody to, and people say, oh, well, we don't know where this stock's going and who's ordered this. People need to know, oh, yes, that delivery is coming in, right, there's room in the warehouse over there. Jim's going to go and get the forklift truck and lift it off and put it over there. So that's the role of procurement as well. And hopefully you got all that.